The STEM Society.
Welcome back to the STEM Society. My name is Cole Jackson, and I do commentary on music, hip hop, R&B, you name it. I talk about it. Sit back so I can give you guys some unfiltered takes on what's going on in music news, new releases, culture, and the culture behind all of it. If I'm not going to tell you the truth, I don't know who will. This is episode 99, and it has been a hell of a middle of a week. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are feeling well. This has been a great week for you, boy. I just want to let you know right now. Let's start off with some good news. My podcast or my show was ranked number 54 in the top 90 of music news podcasts by millionsofpodcasts.com. You can go check that list out now. But I got ranked number 54. I cannot believe this. And it is probably one of the coolest things ever. My homeboy, shout out to Sid Davis, who has his own podcast called the Social Introvert Podcast, which actually got ranked also in this list. He gave me a big shout out on Instagram. Didn't even know what was going on. I know that they emailed me not too long ago. But you know how shit can be scams, man. I'm usually thinking people are scamming, but it wasn't. It was completely legit. It's on a legit website, and I'm just so very proud for, one, myself, because content creating is not the easiest thing in the world, and two, the people who supported me, the supporters, the socialites out there. Thank you guys for supporting this so much, man. Somebody took the time out to find my podcast and actually enjoy what I'm giving them on a regular basis. So I'm just super happy that this happened. I'm excited, man. This has been a good week. God has been blessing me, and God has been showing me how to move around here in these streets. And I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. But thank you to Million Podcasts for ranking me number 54 out of the top 90 music news podcasts. I promise you I'm going to continue to put out this content and continue to put out the shit that I know what to do, because I'm trying to take this to another level. But I'm so thankful, man. Also, if you have not watched it yet, this past week on Monday, I put out Rank the Era J. Cole. That is a new show that I'm doing. It's a new video series that I'm doing here on the channel. Rank the Eras is basically a show where I just take down somebody's whole career, break it down into different parts, different areas of their lives, and I rank them. What's the best, the worst? A lot of people agree with what I got to number one, and a lot of people don't. That's what the show is for. It's for debate. It's for people to just tell me, hey, I don't like this, or hey, this is my point of view, or whatever the case may be. So if you're very consistent in watching the STEM Society, if you enjoy the kind of content I'm giving you guys here, you will most definitely enjoy Rank the Era featuring J. Cole. It's up now. Please just go hit play and watch it and support that video. I would really appreciate that. So before I get into the news, real quick, couple other things. Jid just announced that he's putting out a song on Friday. The song is called Work. I'm excited to see this. Finally, we're getting some music from people that I like. This year has been so trash when it comes to new music and people who are actually putting out good albums. And I am ready to hear some Jid. I want to see what Jid's going to come with on this one. If you've listened to the Forever Story, you already know how impactful that album was. Very great. One of the top albums that came out of that year. Hopefully this single will do some numbers. Hopefully we can get some more. I hope the album comes pretty soon after we get this song, because I have been so disappointed with this year as far as like albums. I've been sitting here trying to get into Ken Carson's new album. I'm gonna try to get a critique out there as soon as possible, but it ain't. I can tell you right now, it ain't hitting like I want it to hit. And I usually like Ken Carson stuff, so it's just been a shitty year for music. I'm waiting on some good shit to drop, and I think this Jid album is exactly what we need, and it's going to be at the right time. Doja Cat also teased some new music, and I'm not mad at it. I think she's going to come out with something pretty good as well. If you listen to the Scarlet album, you already know she's coming pretty good. I think the Scarlet album doesn't get enough credit, and I know it's already been some buzz around her because of the whole past shit and her being biracial and all this other shit. I just want the music, bro. Sometimes the politics that come with that, it's not even worth it. And then when I think about the sources that it's coming from, which is Ebro's show, I don't know. They're very divisive when it comes to this kind of shit. I want to hear new music from Doja. I hope it's more on the hip hop rap level than it is the pop. We'll see. The music don't sound bad though. I can tell you that much right now. Don't sound bad at all. And I think if I'm not mistaken, she's got a track list floating around. So hopefully we get some good stuff from Doja as well. And finally, somebody else who's teasing some shit. Tommy Richmond, the man who says he's not hip hop. He just teased the song with Sexy Red. They're supposed to be dropping that on Friday too. The shit sounded like trash. I don't know if Sexy Red ever says no to a feature. I wish she would, because sometimes she just doesn't fit on certain songs. The teaser that I listened to sounded like garbage, and I'm just kind of over Tommy Richmond and his whole wave. I hate to say it, but he's a one-hit wonder, and he keeps getting another minute added on to his 15. This Sexy Red feature is not going to make the song any better. Just throwing it out there. And Sexy Red's newest song ain't doing too hot right now. That Hoochie Coochie song, it ain't doing numbers like it typically does. Maybe when it gets warmer outside or when it gets summertime, she'll get some more play off of that. But right now, ain't nobody really fucking with that. Music, hip hop is in a weird place. I'm out here looking for R&B, really good R&B, and some good UK rap. So that's what I've been seeing on the timeline right now. People teasing new music. I really want to get some new artists out here. I want to hear some different sounds, some different voices.
Music news.
All right, this week I got 3 stories for y'all. Let's go with the story number 1, probably the most recent one. Tay-K finally gets sentenced. He got sentenced to 80 years in prison for the murder of a San Antonio man. This case has been going on for a while. He got his sentence. It's Wednesday, so this happened yesterday. The sentencing came out on Tuesday, but he was convicted of murder, but not capital murder. And he's going out. He going out sad, bro. It's 80 years. He was already serving a 55-year sentence. He basically has life in prison. I watched the sentencing, and just hear the judge tell him he got 80 years, bro, hurt me real bad. I think a lot of people online right now are really going overboard with he got 80 years for crashing out. But if you watch the sentencing like I did, the judge was like, yo, a lot of people failed you in your life. She was like, I don't know where your mom is. I don't know what your father is. I don't even know what social services was doing for you, but it feels like you got failed by other people. I'm not saying that's an excuse for him to murder somebody. I'm just saying, before all of you big time people get on your timeline and start saying, yo, you gonna get 80 years for crashing out, understand the situation and what's happened to this kid. Like, Tay-K is still a kid, bro. I'm not saying his background justifies what he did. I'm just saying we need more people to step up and start trying to help some of these kids out or try to lead them in a different path. We don't got no OGs no more, man. We don't have people to lead younger people in the right direction anymore. It's a lot of OGs that's still out here moving around like the young guys, and that doesn't really help with leadership, or that doesn't help with guidance when it comes to situations like this. And there's plenty of people out there who could have stepped up and really helped this kid out before it got this far. But there's so many older dudes or OGs out here hating on the younger people. They're just like, man, these young niggas don't want to listen. It's like, bruh, you were in that position at one point in time. You actually was somebody who might have went to jail. You could have been able to save this dude, or you could have put him in the right path. Like, until we figure out how to connect both generations into a point to where, like, we can help each other, because just as much as y'all talk about the young niggas not wanting to listen, the OGs don't want to listen to what the young dudes got to say, and we could both be helping each other. It's really that easy. I really just hate the fact that Tay-K is gonna be in there for life. And I hate the fact that people are on a timeline like Vlad. I think Sunny Digital said the same thing. Or they're out here just like, oh man, he got 80 years for doing a crash out. Find some of these young niggas, bruh, and start helping them and start guiding them instead of sitting here making fun of them and mocking them. That does nothing for our community, and it does nothing to help hip hop at all. Sitting up here talking about telling people don't crash out. you need to look in the mirror because some of y'all have crashed out on the timeline too, have done some dumb shit, and y'all way past your 20s and your 30s. During the sentencing, they didn't really make it clear if he was going to be up for parole or anything like that ever. I'm thinking with the weight of both of these cases and how extreme they were, I don't think they will give him parole. And that's another thing that's just sad, man. Like this dude's going to pass away in prison without ever getting a chance to redeem himself. And again, I'm not excusing what he did, and I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying a lot of different situations failed him. And I hate to see he's 24, bro. He's 24 years old. Think about that. I wish that a lot of the younger generation would just think before they act. I want a lot of these young dudes to make it because we still have a lot of talented rappers out here who are doing dumb things or doing shit for the timeline. Let me just say it right now. It ain't worth it. It's not worth, the timeline's not worth your freedom. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get your music streamed is not worth your freedom, bro. And I just wish that a lot more people would take that approach when we're dealing with the younger generation. I just hate to see somebody like Tay-K get sentenced to 80 years. His whole life is gone. His life is thrown away. He's got nothing left. Think about some of this shit before you start crashing out, bro, and you really start getting into some heavy shit. It's always time, man. You always have time to have somebody step up and help you out. Don't be afraid to ask somebody for help, but don't be afraid to think before you act. Because a lot of y'all out here wilding, and we don't need that. For my second story, it's Drake Watch 2025. I can't do an episode without something that Drake has done. Nah, let me be serious. Drake was on Adin Ross's mandatory stream because, he still got them UMG deals. Them UMG promises he's still making sure he take care of. But he was on Adin Ross's stream, typical back and forth. He even got on the phone with academics. Can you believe it? Man, that's crazy. He can get on the phone with academics, but he can't get that man a stream or interview or nothing like that. Who knows? But it was very interesting to see Drake interact with Adin Ross yet again. They had some funny interactions. They asked Drake who he'd get in the ring with, and he was like, "Oh, dog. Oh, no, dog. I can't. I don't know. My Drake accent is not that good. Oh, no, dog. We're not going to go there." That sounds about good. Anyway, very interesting stream. I just caught clips online, but the biggest clip that I seen was Drake announcing a new album. He said he's got a new album on the way, which I've been saying that since last year. So that's already in the works. But me seeing that had put me in a state of mind of wondering some things. I have 5 questions. I want to ask Drake 5 questions about this new album. Let's start with number 5. How does UMG affect this album? Now, we all know that Drake and UMG still have this ongoing back and forth. We know that the discovery thing has happened. That's supposed to be going on pretty soon. We know that it's supposed to be a lawsuit pending. But with this moving forward, how does UMG affect what this album is going to sound like? You get what I'm saying? Are we going to get an UMG type album, more along the lines of For All the Dogs and CLB? Or are we going to get the real album? Now, y'all know it's been a whole situation when they said Drake got an album in the tuck. And he's been holding it to see what's going to happen with this UMG back and forth that's been going on. I don't know. I want the Drake album that's in the tuck, if you ask me. A lot of people are saying that Drake is going to settle. I really don't think he's going to settle out of court for this. I think he's going to push it as long as he possibly can so he can renegotiate his contract and be able to get out there and do what he wants to do. Have more control over his music and have more ownership over his music, which I feel like if that happens with UMG, that'll be great. He'll be able to put out the album we really want instead of, so-called slaps. I don't know. So that's my number 5 question. How is UMG going to affect your new album? My next question, number 4. What statement are you going to make with this album? I know you're saying, Cole, what do you mean by that? Well, are we going to get something that is very much Nokia based? Is it time to party? That's what Drake said. He's like, oh man, that beef shit is over with. It's time for us to party. I want to have fun. Are we getting Nokia vibes from this whole album? Or are we going back to rapping or throwing subs or saying little slick things here and there? I want to know because honestly, man, I know he's having a lot of success right now with this Nokia song, even though Kendrick still blocks him on Billboard. He keeps him from having number one, which I find hilarious. But are we going to get a whole album full of Nokia since it's the slap of the hour right now? Everybody's fucking with Nokia. Not to say it's a bad song. It's actually a pretty good song. I know Party Next Door is probably a little upset because he ain't mentioned nowhere in this. But are we going to get a whole album of Nokias, or are we going to get back to the rapping thing? Are we going to get back to what we really like coming from Drake? I personally feel like it really depends on the UMG situation. If that UMG shit is still going on by the time he's ready to get that album out, I wholeheartedly agree we're going to get a whole album full of Nokias, which personally I will not listen to. I love Drake, but I'm not listening to a whole album of that shit. I barely like Sexy Songs for You. I want some. Let's get back to the raps, man. Let's get back to the real, the early Drake shit. That's what I want to fuck with. I'm not fucking with a whole album full of Nokias. It's just not in the cards for me. And I don't think everybody else in the public wants a whole album of that either. I think more people want to ride with the rapping Drake than they do the who's calling my phone. I don't think we want none of that shit. We want rapper Drake, not Nokia Drake. Third question I have for Drake. Who's going to be the features? You beefed with everybody last year. You were beefing with everybody. All the people I like you to collab with. Future, Rick Ross, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, if in some sense. You pretty much, everybody who was in your whole situation. Travis Scott too? I don't know. Travis Scott might not have been beefing with him for real. But they did play Not Like Us. Anyway, you beefed with everybody, bro. And the people who you were beefing with were the people who actually made really good slaps. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not against you doing some more stuff with Tizo Touchdown or with Yeet or, the new wave of rappers. But let's be honest. The real slaps come from people like Rick Ross, you and Rick Ross, or you and Future, you and Young Thug, which I think Young Thug will be on his album. I know 21 Savage will probably be on there, but who's your features? Because you had no friends in the industry last year. And let me give you a bonus point on that question as well. Can you do an album with no features? Can you pull a J. Cole? I don't see Wayne stepping up anytime soon. I mean, that's a legitimate question. You have no friends in the industry. You only trust yourself. And I know Baca can't rap. So who are you going to get on your album to feature with you? Because if you don't got no features, dog, how are you going to be able to get this album through? Because if we're being honest, that Sexy Songs for You really made it through because Party Next Door was a part of it as well. Now you're getting all the glory for it, but you actually passed that off on Party Next Door because you really didn't think people was fucking with you like that. So we'll see. But I think it's a little harder for us to accept the Drake album with the newer features. I don't know, man. It just feels good when I hear you and Future together, or you and Young Thug together, you and Ross together. You know what I'm saying? Get the band back together again, bruh. Mend your differences and get the good features. Get the A1 features that we all love, because no disrespect to Yeet or Tizo. Love both of them. But they just don't fit with your music. And you're moving into another era of your career where you can't really be doing this kind of rapping no more. You can't be doing... You're moving into an era where you really should be transitioning out of the Nokia shit. Don't let the numbers fool you, homie. I think this is a slap for TikTok. I think it's a slap for IG Reels, but real people who know your career and understand the type of music you can do, this album shouldn't be all about that, if you get what I'm saying. Get the real features that count. Get the real features that's going to make your album a fucking classic, because we waiting on another classic, bro. Which leads me into my number 2 question. Can you make another classic album? I have early in this whole thing said that you could make another classic. I said this year you're gonna put out a classic album. The question is, can you? I am me personally. I've said that Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, and If You're Hearing This are his classic albums. I think he's got 3 under his belt. Some people might differ. I don't care what you think. But those are the types of albums I need Drake to put out. And if this is his new album and if this is going to be a reset, let's say he's resetting his career or this is a restart, I want him to go back to that. I don't want any of this new, I don't want a CLB. I don't want a fucking For All the Dogs. I don't want a Scorpion. I don't want none of that shit. I want Drake who can rap. Because we know you got it in you. I've listened to it. I know you what you can do. I want to hear that. Because if we getting some new and improved bullshit, you can keep it, man. I don't want to have to deal with your Who's Calling My Phone bullshit all album. I know I keep harping on Nokia, but honestly, when you listen to Sexy Songs for You, it's only 3 songs on there that are slaps. And that's just my opinion, but it's only 3 songs on there that slaps, bro. And that's it. And Nokia just happens to be one of them. And I think sometimes rappers tend to hang on or continue to try to ride the wave that's been making noise this whole time. I personally feel like he should just say, I'm going back to the origins of what got me here. I'm going back to rapping Drake. I'm going to rap for y'all. I'm going to give y'all a rap album. I would appreciate it. I know the fans would appreciate it. We need something different from you because if you're going through this Nokia shit, you might as well hang that shit up. I'm not listening to 16 songs of that because I know you're going to put out 16 songs. I'm not fucking with 16 songs of that bullshit. Okay? And I don't want subs. If you're going to go at Kendrick, because I feel like you might do that, we're past subbing anymore. If you still want to put out some diss tracks, if you still want to go at Kendrick, let's start saying some names or start shooting them up because I don't want to go through none of that subbing shit anymore. We are way past that now. We are super past that. So, number 2, can you make another classic Drake? And my overall number 1 question, will this be a rap album? So we've seen Drake make lefts before when it comes to making music. When we think about Honestly Nevermind, even Sexy Songs for You is not necessarily a rap album. It's more of a modern R&B album. What a bunch of bullshit. But will the next Drake album be a rap album? Will he give us something that looks something similar to Sexy Songs for You? We always want Drake to give us an R&B album. And even though Sexy Songs for You is a modern R&B album, it's really more of a collab. And I really want to say that they put Party Next Door's name on here first. Technically, it's his album. He's collabing with Drake, but that's semantics. Can he even get in that bag anymore? Is that his bag anymore? Because again, he kept saying, hey, fuck the rap beef shit. We want to have fun. And it could easily turn out to be a trap soul type music, or it could be a modern R&B album. It could even be another dance album. Who knows? My point is, rap has been really, really bad to Drake this past year. Hip hop fans have been really killing this nigga. And I could honestly see this man not do a rap album. He could make another left turn and do something completely different that we haven't seen before. It's completely possible because he might feel like the rap fans don't deserve it. I mean, if you were in his position when you do everything against rap, he's been doing it now. Hip hop culture has been mean to him. Look at the media outlets he's decided to go on and start doing interviews with. Look at the type of shit that he's been making ever since this rap battle ended. It just makes a lot more sense for him to do another turn because hip hop has been mean to him, treat him like shit. He's going through a whole situation with UMG because of hip hop. So why wouldn't he make something that's completely different from what we know him from? I would say the percentages are higher than what you might think they are. I really feel like if he really wanted to stick it to everybody and rub it in everybody's face, that nigga would make something to make hip hop fans mad because we want him to rap so bad. That's just how I feel. It looks that way. So I don't know. I just know that when I heard he said the new album is coming, he's working on the new album. Those are like 5 questions that I had, and I really want to know where he's gonna go when it comes to making this new album and what's it going to sound like. Is it going to be a rapping Drake, or are we going to get new and improved modern R&B Drake? Tell me in the comments what you think. Do you think Drake's going to drop a rap album, or he's going to do something completely different? All right, for my third story, first of all, it's been a rough news week. I know it's the middle of the week, but it's been rough. Facebook user went viral after naming his white rapper Mount Rushmore, which included Eminem, Mac Miller, Paul Wall, and Russ. Nothing against Russ, but really? Now, if you watched the last episode, you already know I talked about the mixtape Mount Rushmore, and I went on and on about how 50 Cent was supposed to be on that Mount Rushmore. He's done a lot, and I think I got a couple people went back and forth with me about it, and they was like, 50's not a Southern rapper. I know he's not a Southern rapper. I was just saying he's supposed to be on that Mount Rushmore. I don't know. I hate the way clips are cut these days. Anyway, when I seen this, somebody actually sent it to me. And when I seen it, they asked me if I had a Mount Rushmore of white rappers. And I do. And mine is, I guess, a little bit different because I listen to so much different hip hop and I've seen so many different white rappers that mine might be different from a whole lot of other people. So I'm going to tell you what my Mount Rushmore of white rappers would be. Starting off with Eminem. Eminem is going to be the GOAT for white rappers for the rest of our lives. There's nothing we can do about it. Eminem lyrically can slay anybody on a microphone. He even got it Jay-Z. He killed Jay-Z on his own song. So that alone gives him the number 1 spot. He has to be number 1. Number 2, I am from the South. There have been some really good Southern white rappers. You guys don't know about it. There's a man by the name of Bubba Sparks who had this booty everywhere, booty, 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 rocket. If you ever heard that, that's Bubba Sparks. Miss New Booty, that was the name of the song. Actually, he had a really good album. If I'm not mistaken, his album was produced by the Dungeon Family. He had a hell of an album. He was out of Atlanta. People did not put respect on Bubba Sparks' name. Bubba Sparks is out there. When you think about white rappers, especially coming from the South, you always think about Bubba Sparks. There's 2 white rappers that always comes up. Bubba Sparks and Yellow Wolf. If you're from the South, you have to know those 2. You just have to. But Bubba Sparks didn't get enough respect, and he was a part of that Atlanta movement when Atlanta was really moving heavy. I don't think people talk about his album enough, but Bubba Sparks was out there doing his thing. So I have to put the Bubba Sparks on my Mount Rushmore at number 2. Number 3. Some people are going to think this is crazy, but he deserves to be there. Vanilla Ice, the OG white rapper. Let me tell you this real quick. Quick story. I was in college one time, and this white fraternity booked Vanilla Ice, and I think they did it as a joke, right? They did it as a joke. They posted the poster up there, and they sold tickets because the concert was in the backyard of their fraternity house, their frat house. When I tell you that frat house, that backyard was packed. I went to go see that. I got a ticket and went to go see that. Vanilla Ice performed at at a backyard at a frat house, and he sold that motherfucker out. And he only did 3 songs. I'm not lying. He did, what'd he do? Ice Ice Baby, Stop This Train, and Ninja Rap. He did Ninja Rap, nigga. He did 3 songs the whole time. That's all he did. And then he brought people up there to rap with him. And people was like high-fiving this dude. And it was a crazy time. But people really was fucking with Vanilla Ice that hard. That alone let me know how big of a superstar he is. So when I make a Mount Rushmore of white rappers, he has to be on there because I've seen him live. Actually had a pretty good live show for 3 songs. He did pretty good for 3 songs. I can't lie to you. But he packed out a backyard at this frat house, and I was just like, nobody really knows Vanilla Ice like that. But we went to go see him because I guess the gimmick just worked. But yeah, Vanilla Ice has to go up there just for that experience I had alone. And number 4, I have to give to Mac Miller. And I say that because I was very late to the party with Mac Miller. When Mac Miller came out, I kind of looked at him as another gimmick white rapper, and I was just not taking him seriously until I had a cousin of mine actually tell me about his music. Shout out to Chris. And he was like, nah, this dude's like fire. And me listening to his post-death albums made me really dig into his catalog. And I went back to go listen to shit like Kids and I can't remember the Kids really got me. Kids was like one of my favorite Mac Miller projects. But I went back to just listen to Mac Miller's catalog, and I felt so bad about missing out on how talented he is. Like, I really just looked at him as just another gimmick rapper. And I was just like, man, he a gimmick, bruh. He had that show on MTV, all that shit. He had a reality show. Yeah, his reality show on MTV. And I was just like, yeah, he just trying to eat up the culture. But Mac Miller was so talented, bruh. And here recently, his newest album that just dropped, I listened to that and I can't. Knowing how he passed away and listening to that album, and it's a beautiful album, one of the best albums that came out this year so far. It just lets me know that I should have got on the wave when he first dropped, like everybody else did, and he wasn't a gimmick. Mac Miller was so talented. Mac Miller could rap. He was lyrically sound, everything, emotions, whatever you're looking for in a rapper, he had it. And I really feel like if he was still alive, he would be one of the top rappers out right now. I hate that the way he passed away is how he passed away, and I hate the fact that we missing him right now. But Mac Miller has to be on that Mount Rushmore when we talk about white rappers, because he's just that good and he meant that much to so many people. He touched a lot of people, including myself, and I was late to the party. But that's it. That is my white rapper Mount Rushmore. You got Eminem, Bubba Sparks, Vanilla Ice, and Mac Miller. If you have a white rapper Mount Rushmore, put it in the comments and let me know who it is, what you think, how's it gonna go. That's it. I got nothing else. Short, sweet, to the point this week. Thank you guys for supporting me again. For all the people who really have been supportive of the show, I appreciate you. I don't get ranked in that best new or music news podcast rankings without y'all. So I'm very appreciative. If you guys love this content, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys are giving me some engagement on social media if you see me. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter also. I get my shit off there. And I will catch you guys on Sunday. Peace out.
Thank you for joining the STEM Society.